Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be featuring a team that I got from PV Poke. The team consists of a Sableye lead, Lickitung in the back, and Superior, three very strong Pokemon. Sableye has fallen out of the meta a lot because of the rise of Lickitung, and as well, but even though there's so many Defense Deoxys and Medicham leads, I thought I'd give this team a try. Overall, I went 11-4. This team I was able to reach Legend, so we're gonna go ahead and play out these battles here. So we're gonna see Charizard, Sableye into Charizard. So Sableye does win the 2 shield versus Charizard. Opponent makes a very nice catch onto onto their own Lickitung. So this is a pretty tough situation here because I don't have a direct answer. So I'm gonna bank a foul play, and then we're gonna see how we're gonna play this out. Still a very tough situation here. And they do have quite a bit of energy. They just dumped both their body slams, so they should be pretty dry now. But still kind of a tricky situation here. So I'm going to farm up a little bit, then throw the body slam. I always want to make sure I have a body slam in reserve. But let's see how I can play this out. Let this go. Maybe I should have power whipped here. Anyways, I tried to, so I'm gonna bank this body slam and then look to switch to Sableye and Shadow Claw down. And I do get the farm down. They do bank a body slam though, which is very terrible for me. And I throw the return. The opponent unfortunately shields, and I'm left in a pretty tricky situation. Maybe I should have no shielded here. That probably would have been the most appropriate play, was to no shield. But I will throw the return, and then let's see how it's going to play out. So they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A lot of energy here, which is quite bad for me. And I come into Superior. They're one away from another move here, which is going to be the Night Slash. They unfortunately get the boost, which is super terrible for me. I think I had a slight chance without a boost, but unfortunately, the opponent's going to be able to take me out here with it. Their Charizard's too loaded, so there's not really too much I can do in this particular situation here. Very tough team for Sableye to deal with, so I am going to let this go. And they will not quite take me out there, but the 1 week tap afterwards will be enough. The Lickitung had a move banked, so not really too much I could do there. Even if I double shield there, they'll be able to be just a Dragon Claw beforehand. Perhaps I could have farmed a little more. If the Obstagoon didn't get a boost there, I could have came out with a little bit more energy, and had like a slightly more play there, but it's totally fine. Okay, we're gonna go Sableye into Buzzwole. I am going to go straight for the foul play because this thing is kind of tough for my backline, more so my Lickitung. So I will throw the foul play right away. Even though it is resisted, it won't be attack dropped. And looks like the opponent was like waiting there. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, I will shield this. Buzzwole does win all even shields. Okay, and they actually end up coming into Lantern. And this is exactly how I like to play Lantern. I go to 100 energy, or double frenzy plan. And then I do a nice, and then I farm down afterwards. They will throw the Thunderbolt, not a big deal. And I will go to double frenzy, and then I just do a nice. Nice is 50%, or about 50%. So they will reach another move, but it's just a surf, so not a big deal. And I will farm them down. And in case they try to catch, I'm just going to throw the frenzy plant. So I do throw the frenzy plant. And they go into card bank thinking they're going to catch an aerial ace, unfortunately for them. And then I will just throw another frenzy plan, just because if they catch onto Buzzwole anyways, I'm going to be able to lick down the Buzzwole regardless. The aerial ace definitely does more damage, but the frenzy plan would do a ton of damage, so it's just a safer play on my side. All right. All right, we're going to go Sableye into Escavalier, another interesting counter user. and they come into Lantern. You love to see it. I was playing Lantern Safe Switch the other day, so this is extremely good for me. I'm gonna let this go, and then I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna go to 100. I am gonna throw the Frenzy Plant, do a nice, let them get to a Surf, and then I'm gonna come out with 2 Aerial Aces, which is gonna be really nice for me. And I'll let this go. Gonna be able to farm down. And I will survive the counter. And I throw both Aerial Aces. Frenzy Plant is double resisted, so probably wouldn't do. Maybe it would do more damage. I don't not sure, quite sure here. Maybe someone can tell me. I'm sure it's very close. And it's gonna come in Sableye. I debate. I'm not gonna throw here just because it's gonna be CMP tie. I'm gonna lose CMP. I debated no shielding, but then they end up. I end up shielding because Drolan still does a decent amount. They come into Pelipper, and this is a very straightforward end game for me. I'm just going to throw the foul play. They need to. The weather ball wouldn't take me out, so they do need to land the Hurricane. So I am going to throw another foul play, which doesn't KO, but does a tremendous amount of damage. And they end up shielding. I'm just going to do as much chip damage as I can, and I'm going to let this go. And they actually go straight for the nuke. Respect to them. And then I'm just going to come to Lickitung. Even if they come Escavalier, I can just lick down the Escavalier. It's at like very low HP. Probably only take 1 counter worth of damage. So there's really no way they can win that particular game. So 2 really unique counter users on that team. And then double water in the back, which is pretty interesting. And let's see what's going to come next. We're going to see Sableye into Lickitung. Very terrible lead. I will switch into Lickitung, and they come into Metacham. And perhaps I misplayed this. I was expecting them to have Dynamic Punch. So perhaps I should just grab the shield advantage, but this is a pretty tough team for me to deal with. I will end up shielding. And then I will throw right before the Ice Punch. And they need 2 more counters for the Psychic. And I really debate here. I guess I could have shielded and licked down. But honestly, the Lickitung would have been really tough for me to deal with. I come Superior here just because the energy is going to be a little bit more impactful. And they come into Gligar. And really my only chance here is to try to make a catch. The Aerial Ace onto Sableye, but the opponent does not fall for it, and they switch out right away. So nicely played by them. And this is a very tricky situation for me. Unfortunately, I need just a little bit more energy. Then perhaps I could have pulled this off. You'll see at the end. I do throw the return, which they're definitely not going to shield. And I let this go. The Body Slam doesn't KO. I will throw the foul play just to get a little bit of chip damage. And I go into Superior, hoping to farm down. But the opponent is just too quick. I will shield. But unfortunately, there's not really too much I can do. Unfortunately, the Aerial Ace does not KO. I know the Aerial Ace does not KO the Superior. So perhaps I could have been a little bit more strategic on the catch. And then you'll see I actually do make the Aerial Ace, but is not enough. And plus, I wouldn't be able to take out the Lickitung. Lickitung needs probably like 2 Vine Whips to KO. And it actually does not KO, and the Gligar hangs on just by a thread there and is able to win the game. So again, Lickitung, pretty tough lead to deal with. Because I don't have a hard response to Lickitung in the back. So even if I flip switch, not really too much value for me. Okay, they come in Steelix. Usually they throw on alignment here because they want to break and swipe as soon as possible, but they end up not throwing right away. So I grab the shield, I switch out, and they will throw the. They're at 6, so they will throw the breaking swipe, and they come into Metacham. Pretty tough situation for me, and they have Pup. I'm not gonna be able to flip switch, even without the breaking star, I wouldn't be able to flip switch. So I will throw the body slam there. I'm not sure if I threw a bad timing there. Like I got like a frame drop there. I will be able to reach another body slam and do a little bit more chip damage. I will go right away into Sableye, and they will throw the pup right away. I'm not going to shield. They throw a pup and another pup just to chip me away. And then they come into Steelix, which is pretty terrible for me. And I think they got 2 Dragon Tails there, so they have the move again. And I shield, but unfortunately this is a pretty tough situation for me. I will do 4 and throw the Frenzy Plant. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, but you'll see how miraculous of a situation this is for me. I am going to shield. No shield this. Unfortunately, I have to shield the next one because they will be able to make it to the move before me. And I go for the farm down. This is really my only play. I farm all the way down, and they actually come into Metacham here, and they come into Lantern and actually have a win con here. By some miracle, I have a win con. I will throw the foul play. Perhaps I could have did one more Vine Whip and then throw the Frenzy Plant, but I just want to get rid of this Lantern because I didn't want to take a Surf. Though I would survive a Surf, so it would have been close here. And then I make it to the Aerial Ace. I guess Frenzy Plant would have worked as well. And I'm going to be able to take out the Metacham. So coming back from an absolutely disastrous situation here, but Superior stands tall and lets me win the game. So I end up going 3-2 in that set. And we enter this is in this case my decisive legend set. And we go Sableye into Diggersby. Absolutely terrible lead. And the Diggersby is very tough for me to deal with. I do let this go. I pray for no debuff. They throw the Scorching Sand. No debuff, thankfully. And they come into a Alolan Marowak, which is very good for me. The winnable switch. They end up shielding the Power Whip. Power Whip is single resisted. And I will shield this because I need to flip switch. And feels bad shielding a Bone Club, but I would have to shield one anyways. And I throw the Power Whip, and thankfully they decide to no shield, which is very good for me. I let this go. I know I'll survive the Bone Club, and I'll be able to lick all the way down. Lickitung come in and clutch for me. Gonna lick all the way down, and they come into Frostlass, and I will reach the Power Whip, which is so clutch for me. Super, super clutch. And I get one more lick for good measure, and I come into Sableye. I am not going to shield Sableye. I don't need it anymore. And they throw the Shadow Ball out, and I expect them to switch, which is why I didn't do the Shadow Claw. And then they come into Diggersby, realizing the game is over. Superior is just going to be too difficult to deal with. And plus, I have a little bit of Sableye left, and Frostlass has no energy. Okay. Worked out pretty well for me from a disastrous lead, but obviously they were very weak to Ghost in the back. So I'm going to stay here and just play out this matchup. They do survive the foul play. So I will throw the foul play. And then the opponent smartly farms up before launching the nuke. And maybe they went like 2 over. No, they end up throwing both weather balls, which is totally fine for me. And I will go into Lickitung. And then you'll see here, like it's like the game didn't want to let me hit the charge move. And you'll see here, my charge move shrunk here for some reason. Anyways, they will launch the Hurricane, which will do a pretty good amount of damage. I'm going to farm up a little bit here and then throw the Body Slam. Very weird. Very, very weird. And we'll see what comes in. It is the Goon here. Goon coming in. I'm up a shield, though. I'm not going to shield the first one. And thankfully, they let me land the Frenzy Plant. I do farm up a little bit here and throw the Frenzy Plant. And I'm in a pretty decent situation. and then I will shield. I kind of misplayed right here. You'll see I go up to I farm up a little bit here, and then I wait too long, so they get an extra counter in. I was waiting to make sure they didn't catch, but I must have waited too long. Anyways, doesn't really matter here because I end up shielding and farming them down before they can make it to a move. And I will farm them down just in time. And then, unfortunately for them, um, cash is green, and unfortunately, the green is too much for a daddy cash there. And I'm able to win the game somehow. Very interesting backline there. I guess that like double anti Registeel with Goon and Cash there. So we're gonna go Sableye into Lantern. I will switch out right away into Lickitung since I have two better answers, and I really need to bait out the Flyer. And they will throw the Thunderbolt. I let this go. And I'm gonna keep farming up, hoping that they switch so I can flip switch. They come into Frostlass. Very interesting situation here. So they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I get an extra lick in. Oh, I always get an extra lick in. Anyways, I'm gonna count to I think 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 4. 4. Okay, 4. I throw the body slam, and then I'm actually gonna be able to lick down before they can get to the move, which is super clutch for me. And we'll see what's gonna come in. It's gonna be interesting. They didn't come Gligar into Lickitung. Gligar would have been able to safely win that matchup, but this works out absolutely beautifully for me. I'm gonna let this go, and then I come into Sableye, and then they switch out, and then hello Lantern, say hello to Superior, and that is such a really nice situation for me because I'm going to be able to leave that matchup with a decent amount of energy, and then the Gligar is too low for them to be able to handle. I guess they wanted to get rid of the Frostlass because it's not like the Lantern's like super strong against Sableye. It's a very neutral matchup, so I guess they wanted to just get rid of the Frostlass, and they're hoping they're going to be able to win regardless and become Sableye. And unfortunately, the game lags out here, and you'll see here. I'm gonna let this play out. I restarted a few times. I restart my game, and you'll see I was in a very fortunate situation here. You'll see the GBL. I actually didn't want to go into my team. Didn't save my team, so I switch, and then I change my team. You're seeing this on the video right now. I change my team. Right, and I go Lickitung. Done. You'll see it. You see the team I went in with. You'll see it, right? Thankfully, the GBL gods were on my side, and I have Powder Snow, Sand Slush into the Lickitung, and this is a very good situation for me. I will build up, throw the drill run. I need 14, I think 14 Powder Snows and 2 drill runs to KO. So I will farm up a little bit before throwing. And then I will switch out right away into Lantern. Switch out right away into Lantern. They come into Metacham. And I know this is going to be a Gligar in the back. It's a very popular team. Usually they don't bait here. Unfortunately for me, they have Dynamic Punch. So I'm a little bit worried that they're going to try to catch. So I go straight Surf versus this Metacham. The next Surf doesn't KO the Metacham, so I don't throw. And I'm just going to shield because I know the next Surf doesn't KO. And I am going to throw, farm up to double Surf, and then throw the Surf. And if they shield, I'm just going to throw another Surf. And then now I'm in a very good spot here. If they shield here and take me out, then I'll just come in Charizard and Blast Burn their Gligar. And I'm outside of Aerial Ace range, so I'm going to be able to land the Surf. And the Surf does a pretty good amount of damage to Shadow Gligar. And I make a slight misplay here. I actually thought they shielded there for some reason. Anyways, I come in. They actually don't KO me. I come into Sand Slash. I really should have just tried to fast move down. That definitely would have been the correct play on my side. And the Powder Snow applies later. And they throw the Aerial Ace. Unfortunately for them, it's not going to be enough. And one more Wing Attack is going to be enough to take out the Gligar. And I actually end up winning the game there. But again, slight misplay on my side. I should just straight fast move down because I was going to fast move them down regardless. But the GBL gods were on my side that time. And the bug there was fortunately on my side. And I believe this is the last battle here. I'm not sure. Anyways, we come Sableye into Lickitung, a very, very tough lead. And I come straight into Lickitung. And I will farm up because it doesn't look like they have a good answer to my own Lickitung. So I will farm up, make sure I have energy. They do throw both their body slams. I'm going to speed this up because this takes a while. We throw a bunch of body slams. You can see I always try to have energy. And then I try to, you'll see here, I throw the body slam. And actually worked out slightly better for me because I tried to make a catch. You'll see here, I switch out. I tried to make the catch there. Didn't let me. That's totally fine. I will come into Sableye. I know they'll make a power whip, but it's gonna be 8.5 seconds. So I do 8 Shadow Claws, and then I catch the power whip onto Superior. I would say that's a pretty nice catch. I would say that's a pretty beautiful catch. Anyways, they come into Sableye, and I figure like the only way I can win here is I can take out the Sableye with a little bit less energy and have a little bit more health. They actually end up shielding, which is very nice for me. Though I'd be able to win because they switched in, so I'd be a turn ahead. And I throw the Frenzy Plant at the Sableye. I can go straight Frenzy Plant and win that matchup. They actually end up no shielding. And now I shield. Actually, I guess they got a 0-turn switch there. So the bait was actually necessary. I'm going to be able to farm down. And then they come into Azu here. They're dry on Lickitung, so I'm not too worried about Lickitung. And they try to make a play there, but unfortunately I was going to farm up. Anyways, I throw the Frenzy Plant. And I do one and throw the Frenzy Plant. And now I'm just going to force them to throw just because my Superior is just way too healthy. The bubbles just don't do that much to Superior, so they're going to have to throw. And they throw a good timing there. And then I'm going to be able to do one and return. And that is legend there. Gonna beat a Lickitung lead. Beat back-to-back Lickitung leads. Obviously, one was very more fortunate than the other. And I was able to win at the game there. So worked out pretty nicely for me. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Okay, there you go. Okay, we're gonna click on it, and I hit Legend 3024. Very nice. If you want to check out all the battles, you can check out on twitch.tv/KingIV. Again, big shout out to the GOAT of the community, PV Poke. Thank you very much for all you do. And thank you very much for the team suggestion. And I was going to leave there. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.